Hello there. Good evening. Welcome to Britball with the Breens Week 10. As you can see, I am without Sean this week. He may be joining us later. We are not 100% sure at the moment. So I will apologise in advance for any sort of technical difficulties we may encounter along the way, as this is my first time sort of hosting it by myself. We've got a guest this week. We're going through our usual drill. But before we kind of go on to that, I just want to say a quick word on the news that came out this week on the passing of Joshua Meldrum. It's obviously absolutely tragic news. We really don't like to see anything like this within the Britball community. Our thoughts all here at Gridiron Hub are with his friends, his family, and his teammates at what is an incredibly difficult time. And obviously, it's extremely sad news during the week. Um, and we'll continue thoughts with his teammates as well. Um, eh, Without any further ado, so we'll get on to this week's games. We'll go through this week as best we can, and we'll get our guest on board. And our guest this week is Jason Smith, head coach of the Crew Railroaders, currently Britball's most popular team. So we'll bring him in and we'll talk to him a bit about Crew and their season so far. Good evening,
How
Coach.
how are you doing? How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, it's Saturday night. We're living the dream.
I like that we're the most popular team in Britball. I like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've certainly gained a lot of fans, and it can never be a bad thing in what is, let's say, a tough crowd.
A little bit.
Yeah, Britball, the Britball community can be a bit tough to win over at times. So it's no small victory to sort of become sort of the community's most popular team overnight. So first of all, I mean, how's your season going so far?
It's. I'm going to be honest. It's been really tough. We've put into what can only be described as a very difficult conference when you put it into the likes of Tamworth, probably one of the top three teams in the country. Throw into the mix, you got Leicester. Throw in there, Sandwell's another Premiership team. Even when you look at like Staffordshire Surge, even though they're a Division Two team, they've been consistent in the playoffs. So it's like we're right at the very bottom and we're competing with all these teams. It's the lads, the players, because we've got a girl on there. The players have done really well. Coaches have been up for it and really challenged themselves. Uh, all in all, we're enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was obviously a lot made at the start of the season. Myself included, we spoke about it, and we've said before we came live tonight that there are a lot of I'd wager maybe at least 80% of the teams in Division One would look at your schedule and go, nah,
Nah,
hard pass on
I
that.
don't fancy that. No,
We're talking about Tamworth Phoenix, arguably the second best team in the country. Um, you know the Leicester Falcons, who just came down from the Premier Division in 2019, the Sandwell Steelers, who got promoted to the Premier Division in 2019, and the Shropshire Revolution, who were a playoff team in Division
yeah,
One in
they're no mugs
2019.
at all.
Like,
Decent team.
and I think that's the thing. A lot of people tend to forget about the fact that the Revolution are in there.
Yeah,
And they're no slouches either. So I mean, there was a fair few of us sort of looked at the schedule and thought, I mean, that this can't be right. Like, it just doesn't seem like it's a
when I
sensible move at
first
all.
seen that schedule, I went, "What? You're doing what?" I was like, "You're having a laugh on this," but we had to sit down. And we had to have that discussion at that point and say, "Look, do we go on?" Because we knew that the way our team was and the way it was set up and everything that went along with it, because we've got so many rookies, are we going to get something out of it? Um, yes, is the answer to that. You have to have a look at the. First of all, we're back on the field, which is a massive bonus.
Yeah.
So that's what we had to look at and look at using what we're doing this time round for next season. There's pros and cons, there's ups and downs, as with everything, especially in this conference. But you know what? We're sticking in there and just carrying on and getting our job done.
Yeah, and I mean, I alluded to it before we came onto this stream. When I first started it, that you've become sort of that that Britball's most popular team, and I guess there's ways to kind of see it that way, but there's in a season that has been so, I'll say makeshift. I'll keep it politically correct, I guess. In such a makeshift season, and there's been so much that's went wrong with it, and so many teams that have pulled out of the season,
Mm,
pulled out of games. I think what you're seeing is a lot of people involved in the community are looking at the fact that despite the fact you were given what is probably the worst schedule in the history of schedules. Um, you guys have played every game, you've not backed down, you've faced up to the opponents every week, and every single team that's come away from the game against you guys has said, nothing but compliments about your team,
mm,
your organization. You fought to the end of the game. I mean, I remember watching sort of game day live a few weeks back, and I think you were playing Tamworth, and somebody covered from the game live at one point, and you guys were still making tackles in the backfield and stuff like that. And it might not sound like, you know it doesn't sound like much to some people, but for the difference in the two teams, that's huge. This stuff is
yeah,
massive, and I think myself included, we've got a huge amount of respect for what yourself
thank you.
and the Railroaders are doing, because a lot of teams would have decided not to bother with us. And I think teams deserve to be commended for that when they're kind of sticking out. As I say, I cannot oversell how horrendous that schedule is.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, I
unbelievable.
wouldn't want to play that. I'll tell you that much
No,
for
no.
nothing. I
I think
wouldn't want.
looking at it realistically, when we're looking at the team, why do we all play this sport? Why are we all involved in the sport? It's because we love it. And when you look at the players that have got and the coaches that have got, they all love this game, and I love this game. I'm passionate about Britball. Um, More so than like the NFL or anything like that. This is my passion. I absolutely adore it. So I want to put that passion over to my players and to my coaches, and they're taking that into the games. Like this is fun. This and you seeing the players coming off with a big smile on the face, no matter what's happening. They're going, yeah, this is fun. This I like this. That's what it should be about.
Yeah,
The winning and all that. That's gonna cut. That is gonna come. That's gonna happen. We know that. We're just in a conference where that win is going to be tough at times,
yeah.
but you know, it's hard work and we're getting there.
I think the thing is certainly from my point of view, from what I've seen, is there's obviously positives and negatives to playing, especially in a schedule like the one you have. But everyone talks about the idea that you learn more when you lose games and stuff like that. But for myself, as much as I agree with that sort of analysis on it, there is that added element of how much is there to learn when the 11 guys opposite you are just bigger, faster, stronger guys, and they're just able to bully you out the way. It's not about technique. It's they can literally pick you up and throw you,
They
and
are
that's
better.
yeah,
They're just quicker, stronger, faster.
yeah,
They've got it all there. We've got to strive towards that kind of
yeah,
way of thinking. The only way you can do that is actually by challenging yourself.
yeah.
You're going to get an absolute whooping along the way. That's going to happen. But if you don't try and challenge yourself, then what's the point?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. But like, despite that, what kind of things have you learned as a team and about your team
Mm.
from this season?
So I think one of the most important aspects we found from ourselves really is the fact that I've got a team that wants to try, wants to learn, wants to play, and wants to just go from the very first whistle to the end as hard as they can do, and they won't give up. That's the thing that we've really tried to install, and but that attitude that they've got as a coach, I can't coach that attitude.
Yeah,
That comes from within the group. You can see that the G each other up and that they're having fun with it and the big smiles on the face. That means I'm doing my job. That I'd like to get the wins, but within the conference that I'm in, it makes it very, very hard to get those wins.
I,
Um,
I mean, I guess from the point of that as well is that with if you can work on what you can work on, and you've got that will to work and learn and develop, when we go back to, well, assuming we go back to some sort of semblance of normal season next year,
Yeah.
you guys can go into that with a lot of confidence, and that's going to be huge going into next season as well.
If I look at it like sort of like the teams we played so far, so Sandwell, we moved. All right, we didn't score, but we moved the ball quite well at times. Defensively, absolutely brilliant. Shut them out on quite a few drives. Leicester, Leicester are a big powerhouse of a team, really aggressive. But you know what, we stopped them moving the ball. We had a chance to move the ball ourselves. We're doing really well. Um, Tamworth, we got to like 3 yards. I was like, it's just a simple mistake by ourselves. Stopped it all. But we moved the ball 80 yards to get up there. That shows the couple of times there they were having to punt. It shows we can do it.
Yeah,
With the right
absolutely.
attitude and the right work ethic, we can do it. We're competing with really top teams. So it's going to have a lot of benefits going into next season.
Yeah, and as I say, that we're kind of seeing the comments kind of echoing, Spirit of Football award, and Crew should win it.
Thanks
Craig,
very much, Craig.
you're kind of
Well,
stealing our thunder for the end of the season a little bit, Craig. So thanks for
thanks very
that.
much.
And again, nothing but admiration for you guys. And it's a view that is being shared across the Britball community. And as I've said to you, that's no mean feat. I mean, it is not
No,
something
no. I mean,
that comes
I look,
easily.
I look back at Crew. I mean, because I've been on the outside, formerly with being the head coach of Staffordshire Surge. And you look back at Crew, and at times they were viewed across the Britball community as a bit of a joke. It's just a team that's turning up. It looked nice in their little uniforms, but a bit of a joke because people would go, "Yeah, we can beat those. That's not a problem." We wanted to take that away and go, right. Actually, we want to change Crew and become a proper organisation, one that's like right out there, encouraging players to come in um, and work hard for each other and actually progress and do well within the league. But you've got to start somewhere. You have to break it all down first of all, smash it all to bits and bring it all back together. And that's what we're doing. And it's going to take a little while. We know that. It's hard work. It's a good job I'm already bald. It's head in this hair out a long time ago. But I'm enjoying it. That's the part I actually love going to training. I love getting involved online with the guys. I speak to them during the week. I'm permanently on the phone to them. That that thing I've got with my players and my coaches, absolutely love it.
And yeah, and I mean that's ultimately that's what it's about, and um, it's great, and we're obviously really pleased to see it, and as we say from us as well, nothing but compliments from us. I've noticed that Sean has actually made it into the building.
Kind of. I don't know if you can hear me, can you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
No, I don't know why it's done
Yeah.
that. I don't want that. I don't want
Oh,
that
there we
either.
go.
I don't know. I don't know how to work these tiles. But anyway, what we'll do is we'll kind of carry on. We'll go through our usual process. As I said before, we'll cover sort of your game as well. We'll kind of
Hmm.
go through that as it is. So I will attempt to share my screen, and hopefully this works. Right. Ah, it did. Look at that. Amazing. I didn't break it. Going into this week, we unfortunately have, there's been no official announcement from the team, but it looks like we've got another team that's fallen this season. The latest word is that the Sussex Thunder have informed the league that they won't be able to complete their season and they're forfeiting with 2 games to go. Honestly, we've spoke about this one for weeks and weeks with the Sussex Thunder, and this one, this one kind of absolutely breaks the heart a little bit. We've been big admirers of the Thunder, and to kind of see what's happened down there is, really, really difficult to watch. But the Thunderbolts are carrying on for the rest of the season, but the Sussex Thunder won't be. So now that's become a 3-team division that's lost Portsmouth and the Thunder. So, I'm not sure if they're even going to bother rescheduling games or whatnot, or if we're going to find teams are just either not going to bother playing or they're going to start trying to schedule what they can with each other or other teams. We've already seen the Solent Thrashers take on another Premier Division team and the London Olympians. Maybe we'll get some more of that. Who knows? The only other one is the Leeds Bobcats. I believe player shortage is what they're stating for their forfeit of the game. They won't be playing against the Yorkshire Rams this week. So that's a bit of bad news. One team falling out of the league, one team not playing, but there's still plenty of games to enjoy this weekend, and we'll look forward to what we've got. Next, Sean, you'll correct me, but I believe we're going to play of the week.
We do indeed. Now,
Guy,
honestly, if anyone from Cambridgeshire Cats is watching, can you please send us the pick six? Because I cannot find it for love nor money in any of our platforms. I believe to have it on.
I believe it was on an Instagram story, which is why we can't find it. But we looked desperately for it. It was going to be in our top 3 plays, but we couldn't find it. So unfortunately, we can't show it. Another point is we had a nomination in from the Essex Spartans and what looked like a phenomenal kick return. I got to be honest, though, when I tried to play the video in anything other than a screen, sort of maybe the size of this trophy, it was unwatchable. I couldn't really see it. So, big shout out for the big play. Unfortunately, we can't really show it. So we do have 3 plays. We have 3 very good plays as well, and 2 of them coming from the same team. So without further ado, I'll go on to. That's not going to come up. That's on the wrong screen, is it? I wonder if I do it that way.
Yeah, you need to drag it across.
Speaking of which, on the other screen, I do currently have the Tamworth Leicester game, and it is currently 29-6 to the Tamworth Phoenix.
It's 29-12 now.
Oh, my stream must be behind. That's disappointing.
Yeah.
So I'll get these up here. I believe it's the first 2 plays on this one. So the first play from their offensive play of the game. Can you see this well enough? Because I can't really do much with it at the moment on other screens. So I do actually think the quarterback's been a little bit, and the quarterback and the receiver have been a little bit robbed here because I believe it says 41 yards, and at least they're snapping the ball in their own half. So I'm not really sure how. Quarterback drops back, has a lot of patience, scans down the field, throws a really nice touchdown pass over the middle. The guy runs into the end zone. A couple of things about this. Although it's kind of a straight up nice play, what I love about this is the ball is snapped and the quarterback throws the ball 5 seconds after the ball is snapped. And even at that point, there is absolutely nobody within touching distance of him. So it is a huge play from the offensive line. It's a really nice bit of patience from the quarterback and a nice bomb down the field for a touchdown. The same team, the Doncaster Mustangs, came in with a second submission for a 70-yard touchdown run on an option pitch. Again, I think they've unless their field's a lot shorter than I'm aware of, I think it's maybe further than they think. Now, I'd love to know what number this player is, because that is a big man motoring downfield here. He takes the option pitch, and that is a big man with a great side shuffle, and he is moving. Absolutely love everything about it.
The poor QB has no knees. He gets absolutely bent afterwards as well.
Right, so I'll take that away onto the other side. Hopefully I've not broken anything in the process. And our final play, and it's our regular submission, guys, from the Solent Thunder. Now, Solent Thunder, oh dear, I'm going to get in trouble for that one. Sorry. Solent Thrashers, Solent Thrashers, please don't send me hate mail. And you really need to pay attention to this one, because I have seen a lot of highlights in British American football, and I can honestly swear to you, I have never seen anything like this in my time anyway. So this is a touchdown against the Bournemouth Bobcats. I'm so sorry, Steve Rains. I really did not mean to call you Thrashers. Okay. Nice catch over his defensive back, runs in. Now you're going to get to see a nice replay of it here. Hits off the quarterback's head, rebounds off the running back's head, and the quarterback has the composure to catch the ball and heave it downfield for a touchdown. I would love to know what went through the quarterback's head during this play, because I've got a funny feeling if I was the quarterback taking this snap, the first word would be "oh" and the second one would be one we can't air on a live stream. Because
my guess would be Brick from Anchorman. Is it when he's just standing there going loud noises?
I mean, it's. I think what makes this play for me, quite personally, is the fact that the tailback clearly has no idea what is going on, and a double doink off the helmets into the hands of the quarterback and a heave down field. So there we have it. We have. Oh,
can you imagine the coaches on the sideline? They're looking at that and all they're seeing the ball going up in the air and they're going, "Oh no!" And the next thing it's like, pff, and you're celebrating a touchdown. What an amazing feeling that must be.
Yeah, and I mean, as a defensive coach, and as a what do you even say to your players when they come off the field? I mean, like, it must be one of those going, it's just not our day, guys.
You just go, "You stuffy git, look at what happened there." You know what I mean? It's like, but you can't, there's nothing you can do about that. You just hope, really, speaking of the coverage should have been a little bit better. You'd have probably spoke about that kind of thing. But the fact that it's boinged off his head, he's caught it and then made it. I can imagine what the defensive line would have gone, "Oh yeah, happy day," and then it's all gone. It's jubilation and then nothing.
Well, we've actually had a comment in from Chris saying that it should be discounted for the 35mm filter. We've spoke to them about. Well, we've raised this with them. I have no idea why they keep using that filter because it does not look ideal. I'm here. Which one are you? Because your photo looks like Rushmore. So I'm not sure which play. Yeah. So we've got 3 plays. They're all excellent in their own right. So I am actually gonna. Oh, from the Thrashers. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that was. I mean, it was hilarious. I absolutely loved it. Yeah, when Steve sent it to us, we got a fair chuckle out of it for a good sort of 15, 20 minutes. I think I must have watched it on repeat about 1,000 times. Right, so we have the touchdown pass from the Doncaster Mustangs. We have the long run from the Doncaster Mustangs, and we have one of the craziest things I've ever seen from the Solent Thrashers. So, Sean, what's your pick?
It's really annoying because my pick of the week isn't here. And if I'm honest, guys, I will. If I get that clip through, I am willing to make up a certificate for the Cambridgeshire Cats pick 6. However, I got a pick from the 3 that are here. For me, the Solent play is nuts. It is crazy. But I think that all round the Doncaster first touchdown is probably better. I think that the protection is ridiculous. Like, it doesn't matter who you're playing. You're 5 seconds a QB and he's probably got like a 2-meter box around him. Nobody's touching him. It's a proper launch. That's no like a small throw. That's a 50 yard toss through the air.
They definitely shorted him saying 41. That was not 41.
The receivers made a good catch and it's ended up in the end zone. I know that their other play is an option pitch, but he makes one move and it's an easy run into the end zone. If he is a bigger guy, maybe puffed out before the last 10 yards. But for me, I think the first Doncaster play is the best one this week.
Coach?
Yeah, I mean, I liked the run. I like the fact that he's a big guy. It's pitched out to him. He's made the move on the guy, and you can see the defender there. His legs just go. He's been duked big time on there. But actually, I agree with you. The first one there, the time he's got in the pocket, the offensive line have done an absolutely amazing job. And I think we've seen one pancake in there as well. The throw, brilliant. It's right on the money. All the receiver's got to do is be there. He knows where he's got to go. He's right there, and it comes down perfect right into him. So for me, the first one, definitely.
Okay, so that's 2 votes for the Doncaster Mustangs pass. I think the one thing is certainly I think when that award comes out, it's going to go to the offense as a whole, because that offensive line deserves a lot of love for that pass
No,
protection.
big time.
Okay, well, since 2 votes have went to that play, the Solent Thrashers play was my favourite by an absolute mile, because I've never seen anything like it, and I loved everything about it. I'm going to go ahead and give my vote to the big guy from Doncaster on the option pitch. Not just because of the kind of the speed he motors at, but that move he kind of put in at the start where he sidesteps was really slick. So I'm going to go and give him my vote. We've had a shout in from Dad saying it was designed that way.
Yeah, just like the Yorkshire Rams kick to the face return field goal.
He's got
a competitor.
It's Coach Rains definitely tried to pass it off to us that it was designed that way, but we're having none of it. So I'll go to the Doncaster Mustangs offense for the first the touchdown pass. So we'll make sure we get something sent out to them. As I say, it was a great play, and it can be so hard for offensive linemen in British American football to kind of maintain that discipline of a big of a pocket in the passing game. So absolutely loved it.
I'll just say
I loved all 3 as well.
Chris, just before you move on, I will say as well that there was a few plays. There's Northern Knights sent in a really good play from their QB. It was a cracking throw.
I think it was from their age group, their younger ones.
Oh, was it younger ones? And then there was a young lad from Wembley sent in some good plays. But there was also one that I seen from the Edinburgh Wolves that was a brilliant pick 6, but they never sent the clip. So you don't send the clip, you don't get in, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I seen it on their story and asked them to send it, but we never got it. So,
but just make sure, guys. We had a massive week a couple of weeks ago where people were sending in heaps of clips, and Gridiron Hub were sharing them throughout the week. That's what we want to do. So whether you send them to us on Twitter or Instagram or whatnot, or send them to Gridiron Hub, get them sent in, because again, it's an opportunity to show parts of the game, and it's great fun, and get your name up in lights, or your teammates' name up in lights for a bit, for making a great play. One thing I forgot, if just we've started asking this now, if you could just like and share the stream, help us out a little bit, help get us out there as well. Right, now we move on to the important part, our game of the week. And our game of the week this week is, of course, the Crewe Railroaders against the Staffordshire Surge. This is the reverse fixture, so this is your home game, I believe.
It certainly is, yeah.
Yeah. So this is obviously the rematch at your home ground. I think, what was the score from the previous?
7-6 to Surge. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a 1 point game. It doesn't get much closer than that.
No, and right. I mean, I wasn't there at the game. It was my daughter's 25th birthday party, so my assistant head coach, he stepped up and was looking after, done a great job. I mean, right near the end, we had a chance to get a field goal. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. A lot of lads were all devastated at the end, but it's our chance now to bring them back to home, to our place, and hopefully reverse the fixture. There is scoreline, maybe put some points up on them. It's going to be a tough game because both teams are quite close in terms of like the skill sets and things like that. So it's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, definitely. Can you talk to us a little bit about it? I mean, what we spoke about sort of before we came onto the screen, because I know they've classified it as the A500 Bowl, but you said you're not actually in the A500 anymore. But,
no, we're on the same side of the motorway at the moment, because unfortunately, the place that we used to be, just like the college, we couldn't go there anymore because they've closed it down. So we had to scramble around and find a place. And the council very kindly got us a place, but it was not in Crewe. It was outside of Crewe. So we've gone there this season, and hopefully we're trying to find another place to go back to Crewe next season, already in talks to do all that. Surge have called it the A500 Bowl. It's not really a thing that the Crewe do. However, on this particular game, what we're going to do is it's a memorial trophy. During the whole COVID, we lost from both teams, we lost 2 guys. So it was Jeff Lowe, and he was the guy who actually set up the surge, and we had Dave Ollier. Now he was involved in both, and when I was the just let you know, I was previously the head coach of Staffordshire Surge, and he was my stats guy. So what we're doing is we're going to do a memorial thing for him. I'll just show you the trophy that we've got made up. I don't know if you guys can see that, nice and bright and shiny. There we go. Is that a bit better? So it's for the 2 teams. So what we're going to do is the best player over the 2 games gets the name on there, and hopefully we're going to have down Jeff Lowe's widow. She's going to come down and she's going to present this trophy at the very end of the game to what both coaches will feel was the best player over the 2 games.
That's, obviously it's sad news to hear, but it's an excellent idea with regards to the memorial side of things. So certainly an honour for the player who gets nominated by both coaches over the 2 games. So yeah, keep us posted with who.
Yeah, we're hoping to keep this going. Like it's not going to be a one-off. It's set up the fact that the Surge and crew, because of the way we're quite close to each other, we're often going to be in the same conference. So it's an opportunity to do something going forward, and it connects the 2 clubs rather than keep them apart. It's a really nice thing to do.
Yeah, that sounds really good, and really in terms of the actual game, I see John Wise has it right there, honouring 2 men that have been instrumental in both, and really it's a great thing to do. And we see more and more of this in Britball. One thing that we've said in the past is that no matter what happens in Britball, when times are not so great and there's things that happen, the community comes together really well, and I think that's something that we can be very proud of in Britball, is that we all rip into each other constantly online, but when something like this happens, it's usually a good outcome. And like this, for the game side, most people will usually say that I am the harsher brother. I don't think he's beat the Surge very much, have you?
No.
Over the years. However,
no.
I have picked the Crew Railroaders this week. As Chris said a couple of weeks ago, I think you went through some really tough games before you faced the Surge last time. And I think we thought, I think I put the Surge saying, well, it might be close, but I think the Crew Railroaders might turn this one over and win this one by a little bit. And we have to mute my mic because I might get spoken to 2 seconds.
I think looking at it, the previous game that we played, we got into our own heads. We put up too much pressure on ourselves. We've got to beat the Surge, got to beat the Surge, got to beat the Surge. I can't say what the Surge were feeling on theirs or anything like that. That would come down to their coach and their players. But I know how our players were feeling, and in some cases the coaches. What we've got to do is relax. We've got to play our football, because we know that we play our football, we can move the ball and we could defend the ball well.
Yeah, and from my side as well, I sided with the Surge last time out, because I felt like your honesty in playing all the games was kind of maybe going to hurt you in that one as well. I kind of felt that Surge had a couple of weeks off; they hadn't really played the games, or they downgraded them. You guys had kind of plugged it out, and I think now you've had what, 2 weeks now. Since the last meeting, both teams have been nothing but preparing for this game, and I am on the Crew train. So
choo-choo, gotta go do the choo-choo.
So yeah, hopefully it's a great game. We'll look forward to it, and we'll be keeping an eye on it when we've finished our own one as well.
Excellent.
So Sean, you have to tell me which tile you go on to here once you stop sharing your screen.
What do you mean?
That'll work. That's fine. That's all right. That'll work.
Yeah, you just click stop.
See all 3 of us, so it doesn't end up with people all over the place. Right. So without further ado, we'll kind of get on to the rest of the games this week. The first one that's currently ongoing is actually the Leicester Falcons and the Tamworth Phoenix. And if I just quickly check in, my street might be a little bit behind, but it's saying 29-12 to the Tamworth Phoenix at the moment. That game's finished. There's only 2 minutes left in the game, and the Falcons are currently just outside the red zone. So we'll keep.
They're on the they're in like the 5-yard line now.
They're on the 5-yard line now.
Yeah, it's
so
close.
We'll keep an eye on that. It looks like it's been a good game. The first half was good. A lot of the first score came off the back of we'll say a questionable fumble. I'm not entirely convinced the receiver ever actually had a hold of the ball, but it looked like it was a decent game. I think the Falcons kind of really struggled to get their passing game going, but it looks like they've done a better job in the second half. As I say, we'll see what that final score is by the time we're finished.
A few things, Chris.
Yes.
First of all, you're right about the first one. I've watched it back, and I don't think it is. Leicester have just scored. So it looks like it's 29-18 now. They've just scored a Russian touchdown. However, I believe also 13 from Tamworth should have been ejected early in the game. He kicked out with somebody in the head.
There's been a few instances in this game. There was an alleged punch. There was an alleged kick.
It wasn't an alleged kick. I've just watched it back. It was a definite kick to the helmet.
I'm going to stick with alleged. Yeah. So it's been a testy game. Both teams have kind of been at each other the whole time. There's been some aggression taken out, I believe, during the game. But it looks like it's been a decent score. And again, it's a strong result for Leicester. Tamworth really got rolling after that first game against them, so it's a decent result for the Falcons. Although I'm sure they'll be disappointed. Right, our first game to be played tomorrow is a cross-conference game. Now, is it a league-sanctioned game? Is it a friendly? Is it not? We don't actually know, and Coach Chester's apparently is not 100% clear either, and he was the one that made us aware that it's, according to him, it's not a league-sanctioned game. So who knows? The Merseyside Nighthawks against the Sheffield Giants. Sean?
Yeah, no, this is an interesting one, particularly for my power rankings. So it does make it a little bit interesting saying that they don't think it's an actual sanctioned game. Please go out and play it like it's an actual sanctioned game, please. This will kind of open up the bottom of the power rankings a bit with Tamworth now 29-19 up against Leicester. That's going to be interesting. Where I put them in the power rankings, because obviously a couple of weeks ago Manchester put 38 up on Leicester in the first half, so that's an interesting one. But obviously they didn't have American QB. Then this game is going to have massive impact on the bottom level, because Sheffield have been in my rankings because they really haven't done anything wrong. Now, I believe Doncaster ran them a lot closer than we actually thought they did, but we don't know if that was Sheffield starters. Don't take this the wrong way, Doncaster, but we don't know that. We don't know if they were rotating in straight away, or if it was just a Doncaster played well and it was a close game. We will find out very quickly tomorrow. It's in Merseyside, and Merseyside have been missing some players over the last couple of games. If they've got all their players back and they run the ball behind that big offensive line, I actually think that Merseyside might knock the Giants off here. Now, obviously, if they do, the Giants are going to fall out the top 10 straight away, because Merseyside aren't in the top 10. And really, I think that's where it's going to come down to. I think if the Giants are as good a defense as they normally are, then it's going to be a really close game. If they struggle to score at all, then Merseyside are known for scoring, even if they struggle, even if they do get beat. So I'm going to pick Merseyside in this one, just purely because it's at Merseyside's home ground.
I've got a little bit of an interest in this, being a former Nighthawks player. I'm going to go to Nighthawks all the way on this one. The offensive line, I think, is pretty
Huge.
good, to be fair. It's
Huge.
Pretty good. They're really good. Work very hard to protect the QB, open up some lovely holes. I think the Nighthawks will, about three score. They'll beat Giants on this one. I'll go for.
Yeah, I mean, not only does this have serious implications in the power rankings from the Merseyside Nighthawks Sheffield Giants point of view, but this also has implications for the Chester Romans. We're talking about a team that ran the Nighthawks close twice.
Yep.
And, this could have a huge impact on it. And before the season started, I spoke about how the Sheffield Giants had the third best defense in the Premier Division North, and we've not really seen that this year. And I think that's, maybe it's rotation, what's not, I'm not sure, but we spoke about how I think they gave up sort of 27 points to the Doncaster Mustangs, maybe more than 27 points, and it was really tight at half time. And my worry is if they're giving up that many points coming up against what is an absolute machine of an offense in the Merseyside Nighthawks, it could spell serious danger for the Sheffield Giants. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt. I do think they'll bring their A game, but I do think Merseyside will win it. And I've just realised I'm the one that's in control of pulling up the next game. I was sitting waiting for it to turn up because I'm not used to it.
I'll leave you for 1 week.
Oh well, I'm rubbish. The Birmingham Bulls against the Swindon Storm. Coach?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bulls on this one. I mean, 2019 we played the Bulls. Got spanked all over the place by them, to be fair. Really good outfits, really good. Technically, very, very good. Just ended up falling a little bit shy of things in 2019. Yeah, I think they'll do the Storm, not a problem there.
John?
Yeah, I think it's same. Birmingham, as we've said before, top quality outfit. They look like they've done a pretty good job again of getting the team ready for what would have been in 2020, moving to the South Division 2 side and really giving them a hard time through. Swindon, again, as we said before, are middle of the pack Division 2 team. They beat the teams they should beat and they lose to the teams that they're going to lose to. But the Birmingham Bulls need to come out here and show their dominance. I think it's they need to continue that to show for next season. Go in and say that we are the best team in the Division 2 South for next year. So I'd like to see them put up some big scores against Swindon here. So Birmingham for me.
Yeah, I mean, to me, there's not too much to say about this one that you've not already covered. I think the Birmingham Bulls would be expected to win this game. They'll be expected to win this game, and they will win this game. I'm going to request no more than a 2-word answer for the next one, and that's going to be the Chester Romans against the Lee Miners, a repeat of last week.
Well, I'm going to sound like a bit of a football whore here. I used to be the defensive coordinator for a couple of years for Chester Romans. We're also trying to organise a friendly with Lee Miners towards the end of the season. So, it's going to be the Romans, isn't it? It is going to be the Romans.
John?
Yeah, I think what was it 76 or 78 last week?
Yeah, 78.
And as we say, we don't know how long that was the Roman starters on. But really, Lee are not they're not even an associate team really. For going into the season, they've been made one to join the league this year and play a couple of games, and that's all great for American football. But yeah, I mean,
it's tough. It's
going to be a hammering.
It's not nice. Yeah.
No, Chester, and as we've said before, Chester can't just bench all their players and say you aren't playing today because they're probably paying 300 quid in subs a year, and they can't just say,
"Oh well." Have already pulled out of that division, so they're already a couple of games down as well.
So they're losing games, and they can't just say to them, "Well, you're just not going to play this game because it's lesser opponents." The team not going to like that, so. I expect it to be a high score early on, and then they rotate in after that. So Romans for me.
I'm going to stick to my rule. Chester Romans. Right. Colchester Gladiators against Ipswich Cardinals. These guys met last week as well. The Gladiators came out on top in that game. I think it was 21-7. It might have been 21-6. So I would have to double check. I mean, the Colchester Gladiators have become what we thought they might this year. We weren't sure what they'd struggle with coming back from what was a difficult 2019. They've obviously used the lockdown to kind of really garner a bit of, get some of their players back, recruit some guys in, and they've looked pretty good this year. The one by a decent margin on the road in Ipswich. They're at home this weekend, and I think the Colchester Gladiators will win this game. Sean?
Yeah, I'm agreed. Well, I had Colchester to win last week. I think they are the second best team in that division just now. I think the Cats are by far the best team, and then Colchester's second. Ipswich, as I said, looked decent game one. Haven't looked as good since, but I don't know if that's because of who they were playing in week one, and they're at home, and now they've went into some tougher competition and found it a bit harder. I think Colchester win this one, maybe by two scores at least.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Gladiators on this one. I think they've got a little bit too much for the Cardinals.
Okay, clean sweep. The next one up is the DC Presidents against the Darlington Steam. Coach?
Well, it's the Darlington Steam. They're going to use a little bit of a train on there. And I think it's going to be. I'm going to have to stick with that with similar type of logos. To be fair, I think the Darlington Steam will actually beat the Presidents, probably by about 3 or 4 scores. To be fair, sticking my neck out there, aren't I?
That's all right. We won't hold that against you, Sean.
No, especially when we want to see who would win between Steam and the Railroaders.
That's got to happen at the train off, or whatever you want to call it, train bowl.
The locomotive bowl.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, this one will be interesting. Yeah, this one will be interesting in one sense, is that Darlington have come off of 2 heavy losses to Northumberland. DC have had a few weeks off, but really, it's still not going to be much of a competition. I don't think. Darlington's swept them aside in week one, and really, I can't see anything but that happening again this week. So Darlington for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same boat here. They were quite comfortable victors over the Presidents earlier in the season. They're on the right tracks. I think.
Well done, well done.
I'd expect this team to win this game quite comfortably again. Obviously, just a shout out quickly to the Steam player who ended up in hospital down in Northumberland the other week. Glad to hear that the result was good news in the end. Although it sounds really bad saying good news with a minor neck fracture, but the result could have been far worse. So we're glad to hear that he's doing all right and he's out of hospital. It's always positive when someone's able to walk away from something like that. So glad to hear that as well. We move really north into Scotland, but not super north. We've got the Dunfermline Kings against the Dumfries Hunters. Now, we've obviously played the Hunters, and we've seen, the Kings have had a couple of games. The Dunfermline Kings are fresh off a win against the Highland Stags, so they'll be absolutely buzzing for this game, ready to go. We played the Hunters. They are extremely aggressive on the line of scrimmage, and that is on the offense side and the defensive side. We knew that going into the game, and they did not surprise us with how physical they were. I felt it until Wednesday. I'm going to side with the more experienced team here. I think this game will be pretty close, but I believe the Hunters should win it. Sean?
What will be interesting is obviously because it's at Dunfermline, how much numbers Dumfries take up there. But having won their first game, and as you said, they were ultra aggressive, and really their defensive line is their strength. And if they go up there with that to start with, I think that they may beat the Kings early on. One thing I would say is that something I've always said about when Dom was coaching, you very rarely beat him twice. So I see Dumfries Hunters winning this one, but if they turn up with a full squad tomorrow, but I guess it's for the return fixture, there's going to be the interesting one for me.
Yeah, for me, I'll go Hunters. As you said, they're really aggressive, both sides of the ball. Yeah, it's going to be a close game, though. I don't think it's going to be a whitewash.
I certainly think that result against the Stags is going to have the Kings feeling really good going into this game, and rightly so. So,
it'll be a close. It will be a close game, I would think. It won't be many points difference.
And from the north, you certainly didn't put these games in by geographical location, did you? Because now we're in Essex. For the Essex Spartans against the East Kent Mavericks. Coach?
You know what? It's going to be a tough one, this one. I'm going to go with the Spartans. Struggling a little bit, but I think they'll do okay against the Mavericks.
John?
I don't think this one will even be close.
Don't you?
No, I think the Spartans could easily put 50 points in this team. East Kent Mavericks managed to thump the Thunderbolts, but I don't think this one will be close. I think the Spartans are probably. Is there any higher division teams? There's not any higher division teams in that conference, is there, Chris?
No, they're the only division.
I think Essex Spartans are the best team in that conference. The Sabres obviously beat them once, but then Essex came back and beat them heavier last week. I don't think this one will be close. I think this will be a heavy scoreline to the Spartans, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. I think the Mavericks have kind of they've struggled so far this year. They got heavily beaten by the Sabres. They've had a couple of good wins against the Thunderbolts, but we're talking about a team that is just filled with rookies across the board. I think the Spartans win this quite comfortably, and they're going to rely on that run game, and I think that'll be more than enough. Okay, on to the next one, the Hereford Stampede against the Sauce. Sean?
I am going to pick the Sauce this week. Believe it or not.
You're going to do what?
The reason I'm going to pick them is because Hereford clearly just pulled out of the game last week because they knew this one was coming. And really, one of the things that we've said in the last couple of weeks, that we seem to have seen that there is a number of different team helmets in the Sauce's pictures now. So I wonder if they're starting to recruit players from other teams that maybe aren't getting a game, or they're maybe struggling. So I'm actually going to pick them to upset Hereford here. I actually think it should be the other way around, because Hereford are the new team. But pre-season, I'd have said Hereford would win this one. But I'm going to pick the Sauce here because of last week.
Coach?
I'm going to go the opposite way around, and I'm going to go with Hereford. I think they'll just have enough, just about to beat the Sauce. You're stuck now, aren't you?
And
you're not going to believe it. You're not going to believe this, because I'm actually going to pick the Sauce as well. I'm kind of in the same boat. I think I want to say it was Birmingham they played last week, but I could be wrong. And I think the score was actually a bit closer than I expected it to be. I think the problem is that the Black Knights are a decent team. I think they do struggle with numbers, but they've got a core group of guys, and the Stampede, we've obviously spoke about them coming out of a couple of games. There wasn't really any explanation for last week's one. And honestly, I think that core group of guys from the Knights is going to be enough to win this game. Sean, you're getting a shout out, I'm assuming, as someone from the Black Knights. I do think they will have enough in the end, just with the group that they have, and as you say, the people they've recruited from other teams. A team we have not seen in a while, the Hertfordshire Cheetahs, not them, against the Oxford Saints. Sean,
Chris has been waiting for weeks.
He's been abusing me for weeks, so I've been waiting for this one for weeks, Chris. Right, Sean, you're.
Well, I think that week's off are only going to help Oxford. They obviously had a few problems with some COVID issues, and they still managed to get through their games. We've mentioned that bravo to them, because other teams in the last couple of weeks haven't done that. Hopefully they've had weeks to also prepare for Hertfordshire, some game film, either the clips that Hertfordshire shared themselves or game film they've had before. But I think Hertfordshire are on an upward trend at the moment. They lost week 1 to Wembley, and since then they seem to have got better and better and better. And although they won 14-0 last week, one of the things I said last week was London Blitz B don't really score many points, but they're really good on defence. So Hertfordshire kept them to nothing and then got the 2 scores, and that was enough. And really, I think that Hertfordshire will come out here and win this one, maybe by 2 or 3 scores. Chris won't like that, and Oxford probably won't like that. But anyway, there you go.
There you go.
But really, I do think Hertfordshire are stepping up, and they were probably our favourites alongside Wembley to top this division this year.
Coach?
Yeah, for me, it's going to be the Cheetahs. I think they've done really well this season. Obviously, they had that blip right at the beginning and just improved all the way along. And like you said, to go up against Blitz and do as well as they have done, yeah, for me, it's going to be the Cheetahs.
Yeah, well, we've kind of covered a lot of the points I wanted to bring up. I think the Cheetahs have been progressing, they've been getting better. After the first week loss to Wembley, they've really been improving all the way through. I think what you'll find from Oxford certainly is they've had a few weeks to kind of regroup, recover, work on some stuff. There's going to be far fewer turnovers. Please don't make me wrong when I'm saying this. Please don't make me wrong. I think you're going to see far fewer turnovers from the Saints, which is going to make this game a lot closer. I think the Cheetahs will, however, have enough in the end because they are on that trending upwards.
Oxford's red zone turnovers. Don't do it. Right?
It's not really fighting talk here, is it?
Yeah, if you get into the red zone, take care of the ball, please.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a factor. I mean, Oxford have moved the ball fairly well at times, and then they've kind of got into the red zone and they've been giving it away like free candy at times. So I think what you're going to see is because they've had that chance to work on it, you're not going to see as much of that, and it's going to make this a closer game. Please don't hate us, Chris. We do love the Saints. We're obviously, I'll speak a bit about this one, but we're not going to be making any predictions. Contrary to popular belief, we don't actually pick our own games. There's a bit of a rumor floating around there that we picked our own result last time, and that's just flat out not true. So
we actually even had somebody else come in to the show to do the pick for us to make sure that didn't happen. But still, some idiots think that we'd pick our own team. Yeah, we don't talk about our own team or division.
All we're going to say with this game, from my point of view, is the Highland Stags, and this is the hyper north. We're away up to the north of the north tomorrow. Britball.
I'm there right now.
Yeah, and they're an extremely aggressive team. They'll look physical. Sean, you've played them before. They were physical when you played them. Certainly, by all reports, that's what guys are saying about them. They've got a group of big lads, and they attack the ball aggressively. So, we're obviously expecting an extremely tough game tomorrow, and I'm absolutely looking forward to it. But I will not be drawn on picking a winner as per usual.
I will.
Coach?
Yeah, I will. I'll do it. Clyde Valley Blackhawks. I think you'll get there. I think you'll get there.
Well, I'll give you a little bit of insight for tomorrow. Is that I'm up in Dingwall already. I'm up with my partner's family, and I drove past the field just to see what we're in for. But I've played them before, and I scored a touchdown against them last time and got absolutely pummeled when I crossed the goal line by one of their players. They are physical. They're middle linebackers. That kid from Filton. Is it Filton he's up from, Chris?
Yeah.
He was on our plays last week. He laid out that big hit against Dunfermline's running back. And they are a physical team. As I said before the season, and one interesting thing for Highland team this year is that they sometimes have players and that go to uni at other places, Glasgow, Aberdeen, Edinburgh, and obviously a lot of that has been done at home this year. So you do wonder how many players they've managed to stick around. But as I said, we won't be called in a winner. It's not something we do here. So I'm just looking forward. I'm just looking
picking a winner.
Yeah. I hope it's
remind everyone.
All I'll say is I hope it's as sunny as it was today because it was roasting, and I'm looking forward to it tomorrow, and I'll see the Highland Stags tomorrow.
We've had a comment from Chris. I believe this is in regards to my thing about the red zone turnovers. Which always be worth it despite me. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, it'll be a good game. We're also looking forward to it, and a nice Jordan. Strangely enough, for the first time in my playing career, I'll be heading north to play a game. So that's a first for me. The next one. This might split opinion a little bit, but we've got the Lincolnshire Bombers against the South Lincolnshire Lightning. Sean, you want to take us away?
Of course, you come to me first, you Walter. As I've said before, you start up too many teams in one area, someone suffers, right? And no matter how good the outcome is for other teams that start up, somebody suffers, and Lincolnshire Bombers are clearly suffering. They, however, apparently do have still a decent group, and but they are not all the veterans they had before. I believe some coaches have gone elsewhere, some veterans have gone elsewhere, and so it is now a much more rookie outfit than it has been, and that's a shame. They shouldn't be losing 50 burger to Northerns, right? It shouldn't happen, and really, this is what it causes. Is this the process when you allow this many teams to combine? And that's nothing against Northerns, by the way, or any of the other new teams that started. We haven't got a problem with that, but I do always say that somebody suffers from this, and unfortunately Lincolnshire have. And I think that judging by the results that have gone, so the Alphas have obviously beat the Bombers twice, and then Lincolnshire Lightning have beat the Alphas, I'm going to have to side with South Lincolnshire here. I think that it's going to be unbelievably close, and the Bombers won't go away without a fight, but I think that Lincolnshire Lightning take this one.
Yeah, I've got a lot of time for the Lincolnshire Bombers. I've played them right the way through the years. As a coach, gone up against them, got a lot of time for Tex, who was there as head coach. But like you say, they did have where it's just Hull and Lincolnshire, and the two did swap around a little bit. Now we've thrown a whole load of other teams right into that mix there. So, and as you said, there's always going to be a team that suffers. Unfortunately, it's Lincolnshire for me. Because of that, and they still got some good players there. They still got a good bunch of lads, but they're suffering at the moment. I think South Lincolnshire will actually go and take the win.
Yeah, I mean, just one thing. Obviously, we're aware that Northants are in Northamptonshire, so they're in a fair enough distance away from Lincolnshire. Just to point that one out before anyone hails abuse at us for saying they're next to Lincolnshire. And it's one of these, people always think, you want a free opportunity to take shots at teams, and it's not like. I hate seeing how much the Bombers are struggling this year. I've loved watching some of their film, like it was that kind of high-powered offense, but not much defense, and we kind of loved that about them. It was kind of, you know what you get with them. They aren't going to blow you away with blistering defense, but they are going to be firing on all cylinders on offense. And I think what's been really poor on this year is that offense has not worked. I don't know if they've lost some players, if they've not got guys there going to be that maybe would be next year or what, or if it's guys that have moved away to other teams, but it has really struggled. The South Lincolnshire Lightning have been defensively rock solid when they've played as well. They really made the Knights work for their win there. Obviously a little disappointed with the whole situation with the Alphas, not the Lightning not playing the return fixture. But yeah, I mean, from all of what we've heard, people are saying that the South Lincolnshire Lightning has got guys from the old Peterborough Saxons.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think they're going to have enough to beat the Bombers tomorrow, and I expect them to win. We've actually had a bit of a shout out from a Stags player saying, "See you boys tomorrow." Looking forward to it, Tom. I'm sure it'll be a great fun.
Don't come and set off that house alarm at 5 a.m. It won't work. I sleep through those.
No, I'll be looking forward to seeing those guys for the first time. So yeah, looking forward to it. Right. So speaking of the Knights, they've probably been. I don't want to say they've been the surprise package of the year, but in many ways they have. You never know what to expect about a new team into the league. They've clearly got an unbelievable setup going on down there. They're already, teams in the youth junior setup. They've got their senior team, which is doing really well. Their field is impeccable. I've seen their new scoreboard just in time to hang a burger on the Bombers last week, which is just sort of it's beautiful. It's perfect. They've been so good to see this year, and every so often a team comes around that just comes into the league and they're so strong. And we've seen that with the Northumberland Vikings when they were the Newcastle Vikings. They came into the league and straight away they were blowing teams away. And it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, you almost kind of have to sit back and kind of just appreciate what's going on. They're going up against the Alphas. The Alphas have they've done a good job. They got their wins against the Bombers. Then they obviously lost to the South Lincolnshire Lightning, and then got the 1-0 walkover on the reverse fixture. Again, the Alphas are a new team into the league this year, and they've done a good job as well. So it's two new teams that are doing good things. But the Northant Knights just seem to be getting better. Sorry, Northants. I'll say this at the end. I've just been getting better and better, and yeah, I think they'll win. With a couple of scores tomorrow. Coach.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Knights as well. A really good program, getting themselves out there, doing really, really well. Very impressed with them. Yeah, I'm going to go for the Knights.
Yeah, someone messaged me this week saying the Knights even have a couple of Americans. Actually, they said a couple of Yanks, but but I don't know how true that is. But it doesn't matter anyway. As far as we're concerned, and we've always been concerned, is if you can play the best players play, it doesn't make a difference who you've got. And really, they look like they've got everything going the right way. And Scunthorpe look like they have everything set up a right way. But I think with the Knights being at home, but coming off a massive win, I think they'll have a little bit too much for Scunthorpe this week.
Yeah. Next one up is the Ouse Valley Eagles against the Norwich Devils. Sean?
Yeah, Ouse Valley, a bit weird one this year. I actually thought because they dropped down the division, they've shown that they've had top defense over the years. I thought that this would be I thought they'd be a challenger in this division. Just hasn't really panned out. Whereas Norwich have been. Norwich have kind of been in every game they've played, whether they've won or lost. However, Ouse Valley were significantly improved at home versus when they're away. And obviously they're going to be the home team this week. So I think they will put up a fight. I think Norwich will have too much for them. And they'll win, but I don't think this will be a high score difference by any means.
Coach?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Devils by 2 score. It's going to be pretty close, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. The Devils have confused me this year. We know they're a decent team. They've got a good setup. I still do not like the color of the uniforms, but that's just me. But they, as far as I remember off the top of my head, I think they were semi-comfortably beaten by the Gladiators, and they put up a better fight against the Cats in both the games they played them. And that one kind of confused me a little bit because the Cats are the best team in that division. So I was it kind of threw me off a little bit. But, when it comes to this, I think the Eagles have probably looked like the weakest team in that division, and you'd expect Norwich to win that game. We've actually had a comment in saying the Northlands definitely have 2 Americans, a linebacker, and a quarterback / running back. So that would appear to be the case.
I love how that's the politically correct way of saying it. Americans, not what I got text. Yanks. Poor lads.
On to the next one. It is the Wyverns against the Torby Trojans. I'll lead this one off. Of all the teams that and all the predictions I made going into this year, the Torby Trojans were my biggest swing and miss. I don't know what's been going on down there. They've always had a few weeks to kind of regroup and get ready for this game. But as far as I know, the Wyverns won the last meeting quite comfortably, I believe. And this game's at home, and I really don't see any reason why that would change going into this week. Coach?
Yeah, Wyverns for me. I think they've got too much really for the Trojans. Probably about 4 or 5 scores in that one.
Yeah, you're probably not far wrong. Somerset, since they came into the league, have got better and better each year. They've played really well this year. Obviously, they lost to Apache, but the Apache are probably the best team going there. And really, the Trojans have suffered. We know that they've got a new head coach and that there was players left to Cornwall, and there was a bit of up and down, and it's a big rookie team, and they still have a decent squad. But even with a few weeks off, they're probably not quite ready for the Wyverns yet. So I would think that the Wyverns will win this one.
I'm not sure if this is one you've left in or if this is a game at this point, but the Solent Thrashers, the Bournemouth Bobcats, is that is a game? No, that's not a game this week. There we go.
I don't think so. Wait a minute. Ask Steve. Steve will be watching.
Steve, help. No, I don't think there's any more in this week. I assume that was left in from previous. But we've obviously got our cancelled game between the Leeds Bobcats and the Yorkshire Rams, which I don't know what you would call that. Is it technically a Yorkshire Bowl or a Leeds Bowl or something along those lines?
A rivalry. Just leave it at that, I think.
I'm not entirely sure rivalry is the right word either. But yeah, so that game's obviously cancelled tomorrow, which is unfortunate. There's a couple.
One positive.
There we go. Thanks, Steve. I did think so, but I
must have just left it in. I made the list on Monday because I've been busy all week and obviously I've been away. And one thing that is with that game, Chris, is that I don't know if it is the case. However, Darlington may have ended up getting refs because that game's cancelled because I think they were short on refs and they messaged out to say that they managed to sort something out. So hopefully that was the case and that the referees that were supposed to be doing Yorkshire versus Leeds got in touch and they're now managing to cover the Darlington game. So that's a positive.
We can work together to get a positive result in the end. Steve solves the point that game's now on the 19th of December. It got moved.
September.
September is, what did I say?
December.
I mean, it'd be funny. Call it the Snow Bowl. There we go. Someone's asked if we covered the Lightning and Bombers. I think we went for a clean sweep. A clean sweep for the Lightning in that one. Never count us out 100%. And if you get the upset win tomorrow, it'll be great to see. So don't worry about that. There was one other, I believe. I did add it in. Where's it gone?
Yeah, where's the Titans?
I should have added it in. I typed it in, but it's disappeared on me. That's annoying. Hold on.
Yeah, don't worry, Titans. We've not missed you out.
Yeah, I did add it in. I mean, this is going to be a pretty short one as well. I don't believe they got referees for this one.
No, they didn't.
Which, would have been a short day, I reckon. But right, and there. We have the Manchester Titans against the Lancashire Wolverines. I did add it, but I obviously didn't add it properly because I'm not technologically gifted. Yeah, I mean, this game was 83-0 the first time the teams met. The Manchester Titans have just looked unbelievable all season long. They kind of adopted after that first week. There was a lot of people unhappy. We'll phrase it as unhappy. And there was a few comments made about the way the game was played and all this, that, and the next thing. And I kind of, spoke about how, in my what we learned this week, that the Manchester Titans don't care about your feelings. And by all intents and purposes, they've kind of rolled with that for this season. They don't care about your feelings, and they're just going to go out and play their game, play their squad. And if their fourth string can put up points and you're in a hurry, then that is not their problem. I kind of see that attitude carrying on into this game tomorrow, and I think it could be plenty of points going up and plenty of points going up quick. Sean?
I think Titans might be missing a few players tomorrow, but they will still have the depth and that to go over Lancashire. So it might not be 83-0. I think Lancashire have also improved since that game. They've got their starting QB back. And really, I think it will be a lot closer. However, I think Manchester will run out easy winners in this one, unless, of course, everyone's decided to run off for the bank holiday, which I believe some clever coaches decided to take off this week, knowing it was a bank holiday, and have decided to have a week off and enjoy it. But the Titans should have too much for Lancashire, no matter who's really playing.
Yeah, for me, the Titans are an exceptional program. The way they put that together, I remember playing them, but both as a player and going up against them as a coach, Div 2 level. Just gone on and on and on. They, like you said, they don't really care about people's feelings. They want to be the #1 team in the UK. That's where they want to go, and they're not stopping for anyone to get there. Really good program. Really like it. Like the whole setup that they've got. And Kate, when they're going to face the Wolverines, I just think they're going to be far too much for the Wolverines. 50 plus, not a problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see something like that go up. We've got a couple of shout-outs for you, Coach. Looking beautiful.
You know what? Craig is the biggest pain that I've got, but I do love him.
I think I've seen that comment somewhere.
He's an absolute whopper, but I do love him. Big shout out to him, actually, because there's Ash as well.
Yeah, a Ravens fan.
Yeah. Ash, I like Ash. So yeah, big shout out to Craig. He's getting married this on Wednesday. So
the question is he playing tomorrow?
His missus won't let him. Big chicken. Big coward. Big girl's blouse.
The thing is, you don't have to walk down the aisle. You just have to stand there and try not to keel over. So
just walk down the 50.
If I have any chance to abuse Craig, I'm going to take it. I'll be honest, it's fun.
No, I mean that's obviously congratulations come your wedding day as well. And the last thing, obviously, don't forget that Gridiron Hub has Game Day Live. So if you're at a game, if you're watching, if you're a spectator, whatever it is, make sure when you're updating scores, which way am I wanting to point? That way. There we go. Make sure you use the hashtag Game Day Live. I've got the wrong way again. So that we can kind of keep up to date with the scores as best as we can, and try and make sure that we're covering all the games, and keeping everyone as up to date as possible, particularly in Scotland, because I think we were quite bad a couple of weeks ago because nobody decided to update any of the games. So make sure we're doing that as well. Other than that, I just want to say thanks to Coach Smith for joining us. It's been great
My
to
pleasure.
have you on. And best of luck for the game tomorrow, and make sure and let us know who wins the memorial trophy as well. Oh, Sean's went dark. And just hoping that it's a good game for everyone involved tomorrow. And
thank you very much
for taking the time to speak to us.
My pleasure. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Not a problem. Oh, Sean, you're muted.
Sorry, Matt. I'm on this iPad. I'm surprised. Yeah, best of luck to you, Coach. Hopefully, it's a good game.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks to everyone for joining us as well, and all the best for everyone's games tomorrow. And we'll look forward to hearing about the scores and seeing your contenders for Play of the Week. But until next week, thanks again. See you later.
Thank you.